Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike here once again. Sorry about the bad lighting. I'm in my workshop. Actually, if I go like this, maybe it'll look a little bit better. There we go, that actually does look quite a bit better. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys how I sharpen my knives real quick. This is not the only way I sharpen my knives. I hand sharpen a lot as well. I guess this is technically hand sharpening, sort of. I'll also use stones or papers. But this is my, just want to put a quick edge on. Let's go ahead and do it. So, I'll be sharpening my cold steel extra large Voyager today. Got this from Jester. And the first thing I'm going to do is take off the thumb stud. This is something you can't do with all knives. Something I can with this one, and I'm going to just so that way I don't grind up on it on accident. Not that I usually do. Actually, I never have, but I would rather be safe than sorry. Let's go ahead and set those aside somewhere safe. That really isn't necessary, but I figured since I could, I would. So there's the Voyager. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to be using my let's see, my belt grinder right there. I'm sorry, I can't quite see the whole screen. I got this set up really goofily, but that's what I need to do to get it to work right. And this belt right here is extremely worn down. I don't use that. I only use 2 belts when sharpening. This is a slightly worn down 50 to get that original relief edge, and then I'll smooth it out a little bit. So let's go ahead and turn it on, and I'll go ahead and get to grinding. As you can see on those last 2 passes, I went by really lightly because I just wanted to take off some of that burr. So there's where our edge is at right now. I'm sure it won't pick up too great on this camera, but you know, it's pretty good. It's extremely toothy. Obviously, we're using a 50 grit belt on a grinder, so that's not ideal for a finished edge by any means, but it's a good start. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to this. This was originally 120 grit, but it's almost smooth. It's not quite. I would put it somewhere around 1,000 grit. Yeah, right about 1,000 grit. So let's go ahead and put this guy on, and we're going to do about the same thing. Once again, on those last 2 passes, actually it was 3, really light, just helping to knock down that burr. And you can see our edge is much more polished. It's not like mirror polish by any means. You know, I need to get much nicer belts to do that, but it is looking a lot better. Now let's go ahead and get into the process where I actually do start somewhat polishing the edge. And we do this over here on my drill press because I don't have a good bench grinder with a polishing wheel. Wrong way. There we go. We'll get there eventually. It's fun how things always seem to go a little bit rougher when you're taping it. There we go, crank that down tight. When I got this bad boy, this is a 12 speed, I have it all the way up, so it's at 3100 RPM, so pretty fast, I just use some green compound. I'm going to be going through a lot of compound because I'm really using this to get rid of 95% of the burr and do a lot of the work. I mean, you can do a lot of work on your grinder, even if you're hand sharpening with papers or stones. You can do a lot of work on those paper stones, or you can do a little bit more stropping and get a very similar result. So, you know, as you can see, I only use 2 belts, which means a lot of the stuff needs to fall on this guy's shoulders. So that's why I'm going to be putting new compound on a lot. I'll go ahead and walk you through the system I use on both stropping and on the buffing wheel, and that is 10 on each side, then 7 on each side, then 5 on each side, 3 on each side, 2 on each side, and then 1 on each side, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10. So that's my personal method. Feel free to use it, or if you have a better one, feel free to let me know in the comments. So there we go, our edge is looking a lot more shiny now. As you can see, there's some compound on the edge kind of by where the relief edge is. We'll just go ahead and hit that off with a rag real quick. It's easy enough. You know, try not to cut yourself when you're doing this, because I have done that. If you get careless, you can cut yourself pretty bad. The knife is not ridiculous at this point, but it is getting pretty darn sharp, sharper than I would say 95% of regular people's knives. You know, their kitchen knives or whatever. So it is definitely sharp. It will pop hairs at this point. We do have a pretty good polish, but that buffing wheel, you know, I mean, it does a lot of work, but it won't do the work that a regular strop will. So that's what we're going to go ahead and move on to next. Just got this little leather strop I made. It's around a dowel, which makes it really good for recurves. Not that that is so much needed in this application, being that the buoy version of the Voyager doesn't have a recurve, but it is very nice for that. And once again, same process I went through on this. It's a little bit faster though, so once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so there you go. I might goof around with this a little bit more and strop a little bit more. Of course, you know, feel your edge at this point, because this is pretty much your final edge. Just go ahead and feel it, you know, feels good here, here, here. I'm getting a little bit more burr up towards the top, which is normal because it's a little bit harder to strop that tip when you're stropping the way I am. Of course, you can start at the tip and then go down to the bottom, and that's a more consistent way to get your tip. So that's what I'll go ahead and do now, and I'll just go ahead and do a few bits like that. Lost count, so I'm just going to keep going a little while. Well, I didn't lose count, I never kept count on the ones. That's probably good enough. That burr is pretty much gone. So let me go ahead and see if I can get some paper real quick. So hold on just a second. Went over to the recycle bin, found some old notes. I won't show you the notes just in case it's something important. I doubt it is, but whatever. Time to see. Nice and sharp. Razor sharp. I would pop some hairs, but I'm trying not to do that as often. Just because, but ridiculously sharp. Video's at 17 minutes. I quit sharpening at 15, plus a couple minutes in the beginning, and it takes about twice as long when I'm telling you guys. So, when it's all said and done, standardly speaking, it takes me about 7 to 10 minutes to sharpen a knife in this fashion, from a god-awful edge to a really good edge. And even if I am hand sharpening, it's not uncommon for me to go through the first couple steps with the rough belt into the fine belt, just because it makes my process easier when I'm moving on to actual papers. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's a very long video. Some of you enjoy that, some of you don't. But there you go, and I'll talk to you next time.